Conversation with the Prime Minister.
Hi, my name is Nathan Blackwood. I'm originally from Canada, but have lived a lot of time in the United States. And I want to know why Canadians suck up to the United States so much and, in general, have a lot of resentment towards them. It's a big contradiction.
Yes, that's the age-old contradiction, Prime Minister, probably inexplicable because we've been talking about it for so long. But you and the Americans are developing a new vision for the border. It's called the Continental Security Perimeter. All right, big title. What exactly does that mean?
Well, first of all, if I can maybe just respond to the question or the comment, because I certainly know there's always sort of an ambivalence in our relationship. I often tell foreign leaders that the Americans are our best friends, whether we like it or not. But, you know, I don't actually think that's the way Canadians actually think. I think for most Canadians, we understand that the United States is a great friend, a great neighbor, and we are, in fact, very fortunate to have the relationship with the Americans that we do. At the same time, Canadians don't want to be Americans. You know, we're proud of our own country. But at the same time, as you know, our economies are widely integrated. In the post-Cold War era, the post-9/11 era, we face you know, tremendous security threats. Those threats are largely the same. They are largely shared. An attack that would affect the United States, the American economy, would have immediate attacks on us. So obviously we're trying to work with our American friends to see how we can you know, strengthen our security and economic arrangement, a way that obviously protects our interests and our sovereignty, but also protects Canada's vital access to the American market.
So we understand about movement that goes across the border, which has been hampered, frankly, since 9/11, as we all know. So are we doing this for Americans concerned about security or to get our goods flowing more freely?
Well, as I say, we're looking at ways we can enhance both our mutual security and the economic access we have to each other's economies. I think all Canadians are concerned about the security of this country, but also obviously about our access to the American market, even an American market that is having its challenges.
But you know, the first question that comes to a lot of people's minds is, are you going to be harmonizing our refugee and immigration policies? This would be you know, a whole question of sovereignty. Is that on the table?
No, we're not talking about harmonizing those kinds of policies, although, as you know, Bob, we are talking about making some changes to them ourselves. I mean, I think Canadians are pretty concerned when they see boatloads of people being smuggled into this country from overseas, just landing on our shores, queue jumping, violating all of our immigration and refugee rules. I think Canadians are pretty concerned about that. I don't think we need the United States to tell us we should be concerned about that. That's why we have legislation before Parliament to tackle that problem, and obviously we urge all parliamentarians to pass that legislation.
Well, they're all
and to debate it
saying no.
seriously.
I mean, they're saying no way.
That's what they're saying for now, but we've seen things change before. I think Canadians' views are pretty clear on this, and we're going to continue to push that legislation forward.
You're going to make that a confidence vote?
You know, one of the things I've tried to do, Lloyd, to try and make this minority situation work a little better is I'm not the one who goes around making threats. I don't think that's helpful, but I would say this: I think Canadians understand that this is a serious threat to the security of our country. I think they think it's frankly a serious threat to our sovereignty, to have boatloads of people coming here, queue jumping, violating all of our rules. And I think they expect parliamentarians to take that seriously. And if they see more votes coming, I think the pressure to move this legislation forward will only increase.
Prime Minister, just coming back to the perimeter for a moment, I know that apparently you've been having one-to-one talks with President Obama on this whole issue. Is there, and I've seen a draft copy of it, are you looking like we're going to have an agreement signed in the new year, President?
I can't tell you. I can only tell you we continue to talk, and we're looking at a range of ways, as I say, we can secure our access to the American market and also protect our own security interests. And you know, we've been on this tact, in fairness, since Mr. Martin signed the Economic and Security Partnership with the United States and Mexico. That was a framework that was set up back, I think, in 2005.
But in this particular instance, Mexico's not involved in this.
Exactly, because what we're trying to do, we have a special relationship with the United States that frankly is not similar to the problems of the American-Mexican border. And so we are trying to restore the management of that special relationship in a way that that secures our privileged economic position, our access to the American market, and also our security. But we still have a ways to go before I can tell you where we're really at on that.
Well, now, Bob has seen this document, of course. It was leaked, and he's already talked about it. And it sounds as though it's much further along than you're saying.
I don't think I've actually seen the leaked document myself, but you know, I know we are having these discussions, and I don't think it's a secret that this government wants to enhance our relationship with the United States.
Are you going to send this before Parliament for approval? Is it going to be talked about in the House?
Anything that ultimately involves change to Canadian law or a change to Canadian practice would obviously go to Parliament.
And is there a possibility that the government could be defeated on something like that? Or will that
Well,
be
look, you have to talk to the opposition. There's all kinds of possibilities the government will be defeated in a minority parliament. But I think, as I say, Canadians want us to govern. They want us to focus on the economy, focus on jobs. I think they've given that message to all parties, and that's going to be this government's focus. It's one of the reasons we're looking at this particular initiative.
All right. Prime Minister, we'll continue the conversation right after we take this brief timeout.
Still to come.
There's a very aggressive American surge.
Are we propping up a corrupt regime?
We will not give any money to any element of the government we believe is corrupt.
One conversation with the Prime Minister continues.